Howdy, this is Grace and Gabby with Next Level Scaling. We are diving into the red and green flags of recruiting. I know if you're a business owner out there who is trying to hire salespeople, I'm sure you have seen lots of red flags and found a few golden nuggets of green flag people. However, during interviews, it can be pretty tough to tell, as we have found in interviewing hundreds and hundreds of potential salespeople. Specifically when you're looking for people who are brand new to your industry, whether it's roofing, solar, pest control, exteriors, whatever it is, there are some people who just don't interview well, and they're very easy that you can tell, like, hey, this is not a good fit. And there's some people who interview great, or at least you think so, and end up being an absolute nightmare once you bring in. So over the years, I have created this running list of red and green flags of just the great hires that I've been able to find, and people who I thought were going to be great hires ended up being trash. So Gabby's going to go ahead and go into our red and green flag list.
All right, so one of the red flags is having a lot of detailed questions.
And that's something that so many people think is a great thing. They're like, oh, if somebody asks a ton of questions, they're super interested in the position. Well, duh, they're interested. They applied for your position, but that can end up being really bad at the doors. Like someone who looks at lawn furniture and they're like, oh, this looks like old lawn furniture. I don't think they can afford this pest control or this roof. Or I don't know. I feel like if people overanalyze things, they tend to ask a lot of questions.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that just stops you at the door. And if you're asking constant questions all the time, it's gonna really just bring back that all-in attitude of I'll just figure it out as I go, instead of being like, oh shoot, like,
do I even knock this door?
Exactly.
Yeah, if you have it all in, no matter what, stop overanalyzing. Like, hey, I'm gonna make this job work no matter what. They're not asking about healthcare. They're not asking about days off. They're not asking about, is it okay if I wear dirty tennis shoes? Those details don't matter. They're just looking at the job as a whole, and they want to do it, whether or not, you have paid time off or not. What's the next one?
Another red flag is someone who's just looking for a new experience. You can always find a new experience somewhere else. I mean, even McDonald's is a new experience.
Yeah, if you're going to door-to-door sales and you're just looking for a new experience, it's not the experience you're looking for. That's for sure. I mean, door knocking in Texas, 120 degrees summers, or North Dakota's negative 20 degrees weather, that's not the experience you're looking for. So however, if someone is looking for, I'm looking for financial freedom, I'm looking for a job where I can create my own schedule and be my own boss, those are the types of answers that we're actually looking for. But we'll get into green flags later. I just got excited. Gabby, get me back on track. Let's go to the next red flag.
I'll definitely get you back on track. So another red flag is someone who doesn't want to make $100,000. Someone who's looking for, I just want to make $50,000. That's good enough for me.
And time and time again, whenever I do hire someone who says that they're okay with the 50 grand, 70 grand, as soon as they close a few deals and they get a taste of what those actual commission checks look like, and they get close to that number, they're going to let off the gas and stop working hard, which in turn is going to slow down the rest of our guys. I mean,
100%.
The best hires that we have found are people who are looking for, what do they normally say in those interviews?
Oh, I want to make top salesman. I want to make millions of dollars by my next 5 years.
And we're like, let's do it. I want to see those checks come across our desk for sure.
Absolutely. Another red flag is their biggest accomplishment or things that they're proud of have only happened whenever they were less than 18 years old.
We hate a high school hero, especially when they say, oh yeah, one of the biggest things I was proud of is, winning the state championship back in '94. I'm like, dear Lord, have you done nothing worth living since 1994? I mean, obviously, if you're 19 years old and your biggest accomplishment was, getting honor roll in high school, okay, you don't have a ton of time in between high school and now. But, you gotta find something to be proud of.
Something to be proud of is being a parent, a new parent.
Yeah, unless they really sucked at parenting and they can't even be proud of that. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, next one. What we got?
Moving on is responding with "That's a good question."
It's not a good question.
No, we're not asking for our questions to be good. We know our questions are good. We don't need a response and a compliment about it.
Exactly. It's really just shows me that they're not witty enough to think on the fly. If someone's knocking on doors, you have to have a response very quickly in order to keep that homeowner engaged. no matter what the industry. So if someone says, oh, that's a good question, they're just needing time to process. And in other professions, that's probably not going to be a deal breaker. And I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker because they could be trained to not say that and trained to think quicker, but it's definitely an indicator that those gears might need a little bit of oiling or they just aren't going to turn fast enough in general.
For sure, and you need someone that's quick-witted whenever they're going door to door or in any sales aspect.
Right, 100%.
You want your salesman to keep the person on their toes, for sure.
Yes, and the complimenting somebody's objection is not going to go over well. All right,
Mhm.
what we got?
All right, so when we're asking the core value questions and they don't have a quick response, you know how you're pursuing excellence and in life, things like that.
Like, I always frame questions where it's asking, hey, how are you currently exemplifying one of our core values? For like what Gabby was saying, the excellence. How are you currently pursuing excellence in your day-to-day life? That's one question that we always ask on our interviews. And if they take a super long time and they're like, oh, that's a good question, hate that, and then they can't think of anything, that person's not on the trajectory that we want them on to even get them to move forward within our company. They need to at least be doing something. I mean, what are some good examples that you've heard whenever they're pursuing excellence?
Oh, especially the excellence questions. I have a lot of people that are like, well, let me think. Well, I don't really know.
They're not pursuing
I guess it's this long drawn out trying to think about things, but I feel like, whenever I'm saying, well, I'm not really thinking about the question. I'm like, nothing's really going on in my head right now.
I don't know how to answer this. And if someone is on the right trajectory and is like, oh, I love working out, I read every day, I've been trying to get really close with the Lord, or I'm on a diet right now, whatever it is, I don't care how they're pursuing excellence as long as they're doing something and they know very quickly what it is.
For sure. Another red flag is someone over 50. Now, it's
Okay.
not an immediate red flag, but
it's just, why are you looking for a new opportunity at this point in time? It could be absolutely fine, but sometimes they've been hopping around from job to job for the past 3 decades. And if that's the case, that's not the type of person who I'm going to want in our position. For the exact same reason why sometimes we have to look at an 18-year-old and say, hey, do you have what it takes to start out your career in door-to-door sales? And yes, they're more of a blank canvas. When you're looking at somebody who's over 50, they have a lot of experience, and sometimes that could be a detriment to your team. Again, that's not something that causes us to either not hire or hire somebody, but definitely it's going to add another line of questioning and be like, hey, what are you really looking for at this point in your life? And usually it's something I look for somebody who's wanting to retire from this job.
Exactly. Another one is they're wanting a work-life balance.
Okay, we get that a lot, especially in commission-only door-to-door sales, because that's what they hear about. Oh, I get to create my own schedule. I get to have, more balance. And the biggest thing here is getting on the same page with the applicant on what is their idea of work-life balance. Is it, missing every single, not even working because there's ballet practice, soccer practice, it's little Timmy's 3.5 birthday. That doesn't matter, right? But if it's saying, hey, I want to have Sundays off to spend time with my family, okay, that's a little bit more logical. That's more on the same page of what we expect from our guys.
Exactly.
How many times have you heard work-life balance in interviews?
Probably about 50% of the time.
It's always brought up. So just get on the same page of what that actually looks like for you and for them.
This one really irritates me, but it's the constant interruptions whenever you are speaking to an interview or an interviewee, I guess.
Right.
It's sorry.
Let me interrupt you. It can be really bad where it's somebody's trying to prove that they're extroverted and really good at talking with people, but in reality, they're not listening, and that could kill a sale. You can talk your way out of a sale. So you can be extroverted, but you also have to know when to listen. And I think that's what you were saying. It's
Exactly.
you gotta be able to listen to me when I'm speaking.
Yes.
You'll have your turn.
Because if someone has questions about what you're selling and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Wait, I'm gonna stop you right here. It's just like the person that you're selling to is probably like, well, they don't even care about what I'm saying.
A client will tell you how to sell them. They will let you know how they want to be sold. And if if somebody doesn't have, those skills to listen to a client or listen to me interviewing them even, it's just gonna turn out it's a personality trait that's hard to unlearn.
This is also a red flag that I run into a lot, especially recently, where there's a lot of awkward pauses. I feel like this is someone that is, younger, and they probably haven't had a lot of experience with interviews, but they don't know how to continue the conversation, and that's something that's really important, especially with sales, is if you can't carry a conversation with the person that you're selling to, then are they even going to be interested in buying your product?
I mean, half of sales is just continuing the conversation, and then progressing the conversation towards the ultimate goal of closing the deal. And in an interview, the deal that somebody is trying to close is landing the position at your company. And if they don't know how to progress a conversation there, it's going to be pretty hard to teach somebody how to do that. I'm not saying it's impossible. That's why we have great training, is to teach people how to progress conversations, but they have to have the right personality for it.
Exactly. Another one is if they still need to or consider their options or talk to their wife or husband, whichever it is. That's something
At
that
the end.
I haven't necessarily run into yet.
Well, yeah, you get everybody pumped up about the position.
Exactly. That's the important thing.
That's the goal. But especially whenever you're just starting to recruit for your company, there's going to be some people who say, you know what, like, this sounds great, but this is something I'm going to need to talk to my wife about first, or something I need to think about. If they're so bought into the idea of working for you, working for your company, embodying your core values that you laid out for them, they should be stoked, asking about what the next step is going to be, asking, hey, when can I start? What can I do between now and then to start? That's who you want on your team. If they're so on the fence that they need to talk to their wife, or they need to just, take some time to think and pray about it, there's nothing wrong about praying about it, but you should have a pretty clear idea of what you want going into an interview. Also, side note, whenever you have a salesperson who believes the objection of, oh, I need to talk to my wife, or oh, I need to think about it, if they already have that type of mindset in an interview, they're going to believe that from a customer, and that's going to be a massive hurdle that they're going to have to overcome if they want to be a top seller, for sure.
Yeah. You want someone with an all or nothing attitude, for sure.
The next red flag that we have is if somebody is out of shape, not in good physical condition, and they're not doing anything about it. The reason why this is significant is people who take care of themselves, take care of their body, have pride in who they are and what they look like, generally do better at sales. Because if you are in constant pursuit of that best version of yourself and you're taking care of yourself, the client is going to subconsciously realize that if you're taking care of yourself, you're going to take care of them. If you are overweight, out of shape, and you don't plan on doing anything about it, one, that's not going to go along with our culture of our company. We're looking for people who are pursuing the best versions of themselves, and if you're okay being obese, eating potato chips, and watching your Sunday night football, that's not going to go well with our team. However, if a customer also sees that you're out of shape and you're not taking care of yourself, they're not going to have that trust that you're going to take care of them as well. Again, this is not a 100% foolproof, rule. It's just a red flag that we have encountered with all of our hires.
All right, last two. They only have negative things to say about their previous job.
Obviously, somebody's looking for a better place than they are now. However, that negative mindset can be really detrimental.
Yeah, and it's passed on. If you have a negative mindset about something in the past, like your job, your past job, then how do you know if you're going to be a positive person later on and continuing to sell your positivity as a person at door to door or whatever you're doing? I mean, negativity is definitely something that is contagious,
Right.
but as well as positivity, you need that positive outlook. Having that positive outlook is going to be like, oh, you know what, I didn't make a sale today, but tomorrow is going to be a great day. Let's look forward to
Rather
that.
than just dwelling on, I didn't make a sale today, and I suck. It's more like, hey, I'm looking for that next opportunity. Tomorrow's that next opportunity. This job is that next opportunity.
Last one is someone who is 100% broke.
Yes, and you get that so often. I'd say majority of the applicants that are applying are in a financial hardship period of their life. And it's not that they can't make this work, just if they can't even make it to the trainings throughout the rest of, the first week of trainings without having to ask you for gas or ask one of their new hires that are their coworkers for some lunch money, that's going to be a massive burden on you. And if somebody's a great candidate and they're just so financially burdened, maybe it's just not a good time to say, hey, get about a month of savings, a couple weeks of savings, or put yourself in a place where maybe you just have a little bit of cushion to get through a couple weeks of training, and then let's talk. Because the last thing you want is somebody to be discouraged from the industry just because they didn't have enough money at that specific time.
Exactly.
And it's also a big headache on you as a business owner.
All right. Green flags.
Okay, more positivity. Let's go.
All right, reeling it in. So, someone who's early to the interview.
Heck yeah, I love early people, especially whenever we hire someone, we say, hey, early is on time and on time is late.
Exactly. You don't want someone that's just rolling in right whenever you're starting. Surprisingly, we've had some of those people.
Or people who, are late and they say, oh, there's traffic. When is there not traffic? Anyway, we can get off on tangents of negativity, but on time, early people, amazing.
Exactly. All right, and someone who listens to you when you speak.
We talked about the negative of that. Pretty self-explanatory.
All right, continues the conversation between questions. This is excellent. I've had some great conversations with people.
Makes me excited.
Yeah.
To talk with them.
And you know that they're going to be a great salesman.
Because they're progressing the conversation forward.
Exactly. All right, someone who's quick-witted.
Yes, I love this. When they're quick-witted, a little bit funny, or at least they know what they're going to say and they have confidence in their answers. Absolutely, that's going to translate well into the sales role as well. Oh, is this the bar?
No, I'm struggling because I keep on staring at the light. I can't really. Okay. All right. Has ready examples in their life of accountability and excellence.
So those core values that you have in your company, two of them that we really, really lean into are accountability and excellence. If they know exactly how they're accountable, as in when I ask them, hey, how do you feel like you're currently accountable in your day-to-day life? And I say, well, I'm always on time. I do what I say I'm going to do. Whenever I mess up, I take ownership for it. Whatever they say, if they know what accountability is and they can give me a clear example of it, whew, I know that's going to go over really well. Same with excellence, which we talked about earlier.
All right. All right.
Is this the bar?
Yes, it's the bar.
Okay. It might not be the most politically correct thing, but this is my rule of thumb that reigns true over and over again. Can this interviewee, this new hire, this applicant, whatever you want to call them, could they pick up somebody from a bar? And I know it sounds a little funny, but this is what I mean by it. If somebody's very attractive, they don't necessarily get to close the deal. It's not like if a beautiful person walks up to you, you don't just go home with them, right? That doesn't work like that. They have to at least be trustworthy. They are conversational. They're a little bit quick-witted. And that just those looks are going to get them a few extra seconds of attention for you to have piqued interest. And it's the same way at the door. If you're, fit, good looking, you might have a few extra seconds of attention, and then you can win them over with your personality. But if you're lacking in looks, in whatever way, you have to be able to make up for it in your wit, in your personality, in your trustworthiness, and if you're conversational. That's how you can pick someone up from a bar, even if you're not the most beautiful person, Miss America or whoever.
Exactly. All right, someone who's clearly pursuing excellence, whether it's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, as long as they're pursuing excellence, that's something that's super important for us.
In just some way, you need to be bettering yourself.
Has a clear example of accountability.
We went over that.
Yeah,
yes,
we went over that.
It's important.
They're ready to jump in, both feet first. Someone who's worked for you, and if they're ready to jump in and work for you at any given opportunity. Okay, so another green flag is someone who's ready to work for you at any given opportunity, going both feet first in.
They're just so pumped for the opportunity. And one way that we do this is we phrase our interviews at the very end, like, hey, if we were to offer you this position, give me like an honest answer. How excited would you be? I mean, what are some answers that you've gotten that you loved?
I have loved, just recently, I had someone that was like, oh, 10. 100% 10. I'm shaking with excitement. Like, I can't believe this. Like, I really hope I get this opportunity. I've had people say 100. I've had people say 11. It's really great, and it makes you feel pumped up as well.
Whenever someone is that excited to join your team, it just is a good feeling like, hey, that's somebody who I want, representing my company, what I stand for. I love that. But also, if they're so excited, make sure that they're not just making it an emotional decision. Make sure that they are excited for the right reasons, and maybe bring them back down to earth. Be like, hey, so it's still 11, even if it's 120 degrees and you're knocking on doors, still an 11. They're like, oh yeah, I can do that. Perfect. But if they do give you less than a 10, even if it's a 9, there's something in their mind that is holding them back. Get to the bottom of it before you get off that call. Just a word of advice, for sure.
Yeah, I've gotten an 8 before. I'm like, well, why is it an 8? Can you give me an explanation? They're like, oh, well, I've never done sales before, and I'm just really nervous about it. And you're like, what's there to be nervous about? We had a great conversation. You sound like a lovely individual, great attitude. I think you're gonna do well. And they're like, oh, okay. Kind of give that reassurance for sure. As long as they're a good applicant, for sure.
Right.
But yeah, I've run into that, and then it's quickly jumped up to a 10.
Right. I only like to hire 10s, for sure.
Yes,
okay.
10s are the clear goal.
Anything else?
Someone who has clear goals.
We have them. Someone who is a 10, but actually any type of clear goal, whether it's to buy a house, just anyone who has a clear goal, whether it is to buy a house, buy a Ferrari, own 5,000 acres somewhere, or if it's just to pay off their college loans, whatever it is, as long as they have a clear goal, that helps me understand that they're going to make it through any tough day. Because if you don't have a goal, and if you're just making it day to day, just being tossed by the wind, as soon as you have a day where you get skunked, get 0 leads, a whole week, no deals closed, you can be discouraged, but you understand that there's a bigger picture and you're headed towards something. So just having a clear goal, no matter what it is, that's super important.
Of course. We also have that I want to do anything.
Is it that I want to win versus
yes,
we'll do anything it takes to win? Yes. So
yes.
Another green flag that we have is
I'll do whatever it takes to win. I want to be the best of the best. I want to win.
Versus that I want to win. Okay, I'm gonna take that this one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see the verses.
It's okay. You're good. Okay, so one of the last green flags that we have is having that I will do whatever it takes to win versus an I want to win attitude. Someone who will do whatever it takes to win means that they will sacrifice whatever is necessary to win, to have that victory, and that's someone who we want on our team, because that's everyone else we have on our team, versus someone who's just like, I want to win, but whatever conditions get in their way, it's too hot, it's a little bit early, or you know what, I just need some more rest, I need some more family time, and then maybe I can win. Those are the people who are going to bring down the rest of my team that I'm just not going to let in. Mm-hmm. People who are like, I'll do whatever the beep it takes, that's whenever I want someone on my team like that.
All right, someone who's confident in their answers.
Mm-hmm. Even if they're wrong, if they're confident, I'm like, okay, you can sell me on that wrong answer.
Yeah.
Pretty simple there.
Someone who is specifically looking for a commission-based sales and likes a compens. All right, so last one.
We should have a bloopers video.
I know.
That'll be good. Talking about dildos stuck on the wall. Okay.
All right.
Last
one for you folks. All right, so someone who's specifically looking for a commission-based sales and likes the concept of eating what they hunt.
100%. If somebody already understands, like, oh no, I'm looking for commission-only sales, I'm like, oh, okay, you're willing to bet on yourself, like you're ready to go. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna hunt, I'm gonna eat what I hunt, and I understand if I come home with nothing, I come home with nothing, that's all on me. Someone who takes full accountability but is also excited for full accountability, hell yeah, I want you on my team. So, all right, those are the red and green flags. I'm probably going to come up with some more even tomorrow. That's constantly growing. Hopefully that gives you some, guidance on who you should hire for your commission-only sales team.